Ted, what are you doing here?
Well, I live here. What's your excuse?
Well, you're not in Hawaii with Dixie?
No, she's out of town by herself. What's on your mind?
Well, I just came to drop something off for her. Okay, I can give it to Ruth or Joe some other time.
No, wait, just a second. What is that?
It's just something I feel I owe my sister. It's a goodbye letter.
You're leaving Pine Valley?
Yeah.
Come on in.
Oh. Here, go ahead. You can read it.
Don't mind if I do. You found a kidney someplace else?
That's right.
Where?
So it turns out everything's going to be okay. There's no need for Dixie to worry anymore. It's a happy ending.
Where did you find the kidney?
Through a private source that I'm not at liberty to discuss. But I wanted Dixie to get the good news and make sure she knows that I'm okay.
Private source? You mean like you bought it on the black market?
Look, there's no need for Dixie and me to ever see each other again. Okay, so I want her to get the news, all right? Will you give her the letter?
What's going on, Del? You don't want her to have any regrets for turning you down, is that it?
Look, the main thing is that we can both live and be happy. I'll pray for her, but, you know, there's no use telling her that, because knowing Dixie, she's going to pray for me anyway.
I don't buy it.
Look, you don't have to. Just give her the letter, okay? And take good care of her. Best of luck.
You're lying. This is just one more lie, isn't it? You're not flying off someplace to buy a kidney. There's no kidney out there for you anywhere, is there?
Del's chances aren't good.
Look, I told you, it's something I'm not supposed to talk about. But by this time next week, I'm gonna be in full recovery, man. This is a dream come true, a match made in heaven.
So what's wrong with this picture?
Nothing. Come on, are you kidding? This is the best news I've had. I wouldn't leave Pine Valley otherwise.
I'm not so sure. I mean, one thing's for certain. If you did have a match waiting for you somewhere out there, you wouldn't be wasting time writing letters to Dixie or standing here talking to me. You'd be halfway to that operating room by now, and you know it.
I'm not lying, Tad.
Yes, you are. You're lying. There's no kidney, no private source, nothing. You're just leaving.
Well, if I am, what is it to you?
Look, no matter what you think about me, I am not some kind of monster. Under different circumstances, you and I might have become friends. As much as I hate what all of this has done to Dixie, what it's put her through, I hate the idea of you getting sick or maybe dying. I never wanted that.
Well, now I have to wonder if you're lying.
I'm not. I know you've been dealt a bad hand. And I'm sorry.
There's just one thing that I want from you, Ted.
What's that?
I want you to give that letter to Dixie, and you convince her that it is real. That I am okay, all right? And you take good care of her and do not let her have one regret, all right? And make her happy. And you be happy yourself, man.
I sincerely wish you the best.
Thanks. So long.
Del. Good luck.
Yeah.
If memory serves me correctly, you weren't always a model of behavior yourself.
Well, in kindergarten I was. It was only when I became a teenager that I started to be somewhat rebellious.
Yeah, and then you more than made up for lost time.
Listen, you are personally responsible for every gray hair on Ruth and Joe's head.
I see. Well, all I can say is considering Jamie's DNA profile, just think of the good times we get to look forward to.
Oh, really?
You know what? It's
Yeah.
nice to see you smile again. And you look great. How you doing?
Well, I'm still having trouble with authority figures. Namely, that desperate despot who calls himself the publisher of this magazine. I think you know him. Adam Chandler.
Oh, tell me about it. As far as I'm concerned, you deserve a medal for keeping such a cool head in what is obviously a combat zone.
Well, I am not keeping a cool head because Adam is not wasting 1 minute. He's making life hell for everybody he comes into contact with. Haley, me, Gloria, Edmund.
Edmund? Adam is after Edmund? Oh, well, come on. Do tell. I mean, what is he doing? Is he plotting something?
I know that you are completely busy as far as, you know, your life is concerned with Orsini Vineyards and your family life. You ever think about the good old days?
What good old days?
I mean, being a private detective.
Oh, oh, I mean, never mind. It's been so, why? Who needs investigating?
Haley and Alec discovered that Adam bought that Willow Lake swamp, and I have a contact at the EPA who informed me that the land might become federally protected wetlands. Now, the bill is in committee, but the House is expected to vote on it in November. And guess who is chairing the committee? Our own incumbent representative, Matthew Calloway.
Adam's boy.
You got it. See, Charlie sort of politely refused to investigate any further because he doesn't want to have anything to do with Adam anymore.
Instead of going through the yellow pages looking for a new PI, you come to me? Brooke, I hung up my hat years ago.
Look, you know Adam better than anybody. You know the twisted way his mind works. Isn't there some way you could free up a few hours so you could go and snoop out there at Willow Lake?
Brooke, wait a minute. Nobody would want to find a course with Adam's name all over it more than I would, you know, but like I said, it's been years. I'm rusty. My license expired. They're harvesting out in California.
And Dixie is gone, and I know you have a little bit of free time. Isn't there something I could say to you that would convince you?
Where
maybe?
the devil is that report for R&D? New York is screaming.
Don't you ever knock?
Well, this is a pretty picture. How cozy. Oh, I get it. Act 2 of Brooke's fun tour of men from her past. First Edmund, now you.
Haven't you got something better to do? Aren't you supposed to be pulling the wings off of flies someplace? Tempo's publisher. Frankly, I'm amazed they don't blow you off the masthead.
How do you put up with this juvenile?
Juvenile? You got your report. Why don't you do us all a favor and grab your walker and hit the bricks?
And for your information, I plan to improve this magazine in record time. And believe me, it could do with some improvement. Advertising revenues were down last month. Why don't you talk your ex-husband into springing for an ad for his so-called vineyard?
Unlike your magazine, my so-called vineyard had record-breaking revenues last quarter, but then again, who's counting?
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Tad. Get him for a 2-page spread. And what about, we've had 7 letters from the readers whining for the reinstallation of your other ex? The Pulitzer Prize-winning pinhead, Edmund Gray?
Well, our readers are very loyal.
Yeah, well, shut him up. Don't even think about trying to rehire that loser after the election. He is verboten. Persona non grata.
You know, it's amazing. You run this place just like Attila the Hun. And it's too bad, because Tempo used to stand for something. Integrity, first-class journalism, respect for its readers. Obviously, with you at the helm, all that's gone straight down the toilet.
All this from a man who inherited a vineyard for no other reason than he happens to look just like some poor widow's lost son. I, on the other hand, am a self-made man, and under my guidance, this place is going to make money. With or without your cooperation. Good night.
Well, believe it or not, he wasn't quite as abusive as usual, but you see what I have to put up with him?
You know, they say some things, like certain jobs, are just like riding a bicycle. You never forget.
Does that mean that...
It means, dear Watson, that the game is afoot.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
No, don't thank me now. Wait till I nail him.
Well, when can you start?
Well, there's no time like the present. And something tells me that this little investigation is going to call for something rather creative.